Hi, everybody. I wanted to give you an update. After 5 years of marriage to my wife, I'm leaving her here in the Philippines. Not by choice, but rather by government immigration. And I have to return to America. I have some serious back problems that I need to have attended to. And generally, when you live over here in the beautiful Philippines and you marry the right woman and you have a great family and that she's had, you're a very fortunate person, and that's been me. I've got a great mother-in-law, I've got a great sister, just all great in-laws. And I've got my grandkids, and actually one is sleeping in the room right now, because when I have my grandkids over, it makes me feel better and younger. And my priorities in life have changed. And from the wild, outgoing guy to the conservative guy with focusing on family values now. And it's really an awesome change, really is. And but my site used to be Asian Lifestyle, Craig Croak, and I've changed it now to Traveling with Craig, because I will be going back to the States. And I'm going to do a video of the time that I get to the airport, and I shall reveal where I'm going at that time. So look for my next video. And I'll tell you, my back is in a lot of pain right now. And the worst thing anybody would ever want to do is be traveling with back pain. And but I have to. So I'm just hoping by the time that I get to my destination, I'm still able to walk. And I got a lot of fear going on with that, but I don't know. I press on and move forward. But I wanted to address the issues at hand, why we are going to be separated at a time like this. And it's been a long road. It's been over 3 years since I applied for my wife's visa. And through the interim of it, NCICS, USCIS, that's the first stage. We were having problems because I had checked one box wrong on the initial application, and to rectify it is just a nightmare. So, I hold that upon myself. And but I seeked outside help, and I reached out to my senator, and I had my senator's assistants, plus I had my doctor write a letter on my behalf that my wife is my caretaker and my aid and attendance because of the progression of the disease that I have, that I'll get into here in a minute. But so it was moving forward in a positive direction. I got expedited. Then it went to NVC, National Visa Center. And they required documents, the same documents that I had submitted in the very beginning. So I thought they would be sufficient. And I went to even do a more thorough breakdown of my income and a letterhead through the Veterans Administration as well. They actually did it for me. They drew up a new yearly income form on my behalf, so that there wouldn't be any issues, because you have to be able to support your wife or whoever you're supporting, your kids or whatever, entering the United States, so they're not a burden on the U.S. government. And unless, of course, you just walk through at the southern border, and that's another issue all in itself. Now, I'll touch base on that too. But in turn to what's going on personally, Mare had to go through a medical exam. And over here in the Philippines, TB is just a part of life for most of the Philippines. And I almost lost my wife before I'd ever met her. And miraculously, she recovered. And thank God. And so when they did the medical exam, they spotted a scar on her lung. And it was from the previous TB, which had been addressed. I even went to the doctor that treated her, and he rest assured me, he goes, listen, it will come back negative. You're going to be okay. I felt at ease then, but just aggravated by the extension, because it was another 2 weeks she had to do a sputum test. That's a saliva test. And it takes them 2 months to get the results. Okay? Now, I've made all these plans. I've bought airline tickets. I made reservations at different places at the destination for a nice soft landing for my wife. Because, I just want the best for her. And with that being said, this extension threw things off, and I had to make changes again. So we waited. We did the 2 months. It came back negative, which is a good thing. Then I had, of course, hired an agency to make sure that everything was in place upon her interview. And lo and behold, we were informed, Mare was informed, that we needed three things. And I would think that the agency representing us would have been aware of this. But my true feelings are they're learning through their mistakes by us suffering and not having the proper evidence or paperwork upon that meeting. And it's rather frustrating. You pay for something that you wanted help with, you wanted reassurance that you were going to meet all the demands of immigration, you would get your visa, they would keep the passport and mail it to her within a week with the stamped visa in it. Well, that wasn't the case. In turn, they gave her a letter, and there was 3 things that they have requested. One of which I had to have a domicile, which is a residence to live at, which I would understand. And I was going to buy a home, okay, upon arrival. I didn't want to buy a home sight unseen or through a tour, virtual tour. You just don't do that. That doesn't make sense. So that was one stipulation. The second stipulation was my military disability payment that comes from the government wasn't sufficient. It was well over the poverty level, but it wasn't sufficient because it's not taxable income, and I don't have to file every year. And they require 3 years of previous years of filing. So I didn't know that, nor did the agency. Okay, and I went through all the work of having a specific page made up that the VA did on my behalf. They didn't have to, but they did. And to show that I certainly can comply with taking care of my wife. Not only that, she's 75% covered in America when her foot steps, or she's covered here even. We can get reimbursed. And so she's got 75% coverage, right, medically, so she wouldn't be a burden to the government. And then I took a supplemental policy out, which would cover the other 25%, which I've been paying on that for almost a year now. So I had all the bases covered as to why she would not be a burden to the U.S. government. And it wasn't sufficient. So they have requested that we get a co-sponsor. It's rather frustrating. It really is. And it's belittling. You know, I served my country. All of these injuries that I have are service connected. So it prevents me from working the way I used to. But they won't recognize the income that the government pays me. Okay? Insanity. Especially in these times. Okay? And thirdly, and it slips my mind, but I'm trying to remember, it's what happens in old age. I'm not that old, but I'm getting there. The domicile, the support for your wife, and what else? It was, I hate it. I hate having these moments. But the third one was, the contract. I had to have the contract for the domicile, which I've made. I have a contract with an apartment complex. It's been approved. So I have that. So we have to have a co-sponsor. We have to have a domicile of where we'll be staying. And thirdly, shoot. My goodness, I hate it when this happens. But it's just life, right? The third one was, the divorce decrees of the past. I used copies and got copies, and they were accepted in the first stages. And so I thought naturally they're going to be accepted on the second stage, and the hired agency didn't say anything about it. Well, lo and behold, I need certified copies, the originals. And all of this should have been addressed. It could have been addressed if it had been done properly. So, very upset. Now, the co-sponsor for mayor has, and I won't say who it is, but I will say that they have sponsored others. And they said they will not divulge their information to this agency. And I said, don't worry, they'll never see it. And we'll never see it because it's going to be sent right straight in to immigration with all the other paperwork. So, with that being said, these are the 3 stipulations that we're working on, and we're under a timeline. Now, I leave on October 15th, and that's in a couple days. That's why I'm putting this out now. And I said I will video my trip. And but I've already ordered everything I can do, and I'm waiting on the co-sponsors paperwork and such. Once I get that, I will send that immediately to my wife. In turn, she will send that through LBC. That's a courier here in the Philippines, and they don't advertise the address that you send it to. You just fill out a form, and specific LBCs know where to send it. She will add her passport with it, and hopefully this will satisfy immigration. And a week later, she'll receive her passport back with a visa in it. And then happy times will be again, because I'll have my wife at my side. And it's just a shame that government can prevent, in times of need, even when my VA considers her my caretaker and my aide in attendance, that they would do this. And so I plan on talking to my senator when I get to Oklahoma, and I'm up to it. But anyway, we've got a deadline to meet, and once Mara gets her passport back, then she's got to go to some class that lasts a couple hours and do a schedule there before she will have the clearance to leave. But we've got to have this done by December, and the middle of December. I'm not going to say the specific date, but I have had a ticket for her for the 15th, as I'm leaving in a couple days, but I had to change it. Thank God I paid the extra money for the insurance to have the flexibility to do so. Now, that being said, worst case scenario, if they send back another paper form requesting something else, or something wasn't adequate, then she'll have to go through the medical process all over again. And that could take up to another 6 months. So it's just so aggravating, especially when there's millions crossing that southern border, patted on the back. They could be murderers, they could be rapists, they could be child molesters, and terrorists, which I believe many have entered, because they've caught many, but many haven't been caught. And here, I'm an Army veteran trying to do the legal channels to get my wife in. And I've got to go through this rigorous crap that they're putting us through. It just doesn't add up. So that's like what I said. I'm going to go talk to my senator when I'm able, physically able. I'm going to get active in my state and see where I can be of assistance, because we need common sense today. And that is my goal. Now, I wanted to update everybody, because the future videos will not be in the Philippines. It will be in the U.S. And I hope that all of you will follow me, continue to follow me, and see our everyday life and what we're doing and how we're fulfilling our new apartment and all of that. Because I've got to buy a vehicle, and I've just got so many things to do. And times are difficult now. And but through all difficult times, there's a rose at the end, and that's what I'm in pursuit of. And I'm gonna miss my family here. I'm gonna miss my little grandkids, and I've got one sleeping now, and my wife and her sister went to church, and they do this on a Friday. It's a ritual, and it's good for them. And that gives them time together, and they can go pray, and I think we need that right now. But I appreciate everybody following my channel, and I've hired a team to edit, as you can see the changes. And thanks for going through all the raw material in the beginning. But and my wife is camera shy, so you're not going to see a whole lot of her. And maybe one day she'll decide that she wants to be a part of this, but right now, not really. And that really shows on the videos. But I told her, I said, you know, these are memories for family members, for kids when they grow up to see their aunt. And I think it's so important. And, you know, it's just kind of like a legacy, leaving a legacy behind, because we're not all going to be here forever. And I've met a lot of wonderful people in the Philippines, and you guys know who you are. And I've seen beautiful places, Boracay, and I'm leaving because of medical. That's the only reason. Plus, I have family there too, and I need to see them. And upon arrival, I hope I have some family support helping me, if they're able. I don't know. But I've got a brother that was in the hospital, and he's a Navy vet. And thank God we have the VA to fall back on. He does kidney dialysis, and he got an infection from a new cat that they had, because the cat was chewing on the tube that feeds the dialysis. So there's a major infection there. He had to have an ambulance get him to the hospital, but thank God he's home and he's doing better now. And I just talked to him not long ago, and he goes, yeah, bro, I'm going to come there, and I'm going to be support to you, because it's really even hard for me to walk right now. And I do need the medical attention, and if I didn't, I wouldn't be leaving until I could leave with my wife, but I can't. So that's my update to everybody. I appreciate everybody, you know, and you know who you are, and even to those I don't know, for being on my channel and watching this, and I hope I can give more interest, and if you guys become more proactive with me and talk to me and write me and ask me, you know, different questions, or say, can you show us this or show us that, and get active with the channel, I can correspond with you, and that will give me insight on what you guys would like to see too. Okay? But for now, I'm going to spend this day with my in-laws, and I've got one more day with my wife, and then I'm gone. So, but thanks everybody, and I will update you with a new video of my trip and my destination. Take care.